Street Champs, come get put on. Today I'm here with a very special guest, Brandon, singer and songwriter, Bumpin. Uglies. How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm good, man. Just rolled into town, feeling good. Happy to be back in Colorado.
Hell yeah, how long has it been since you've been here?
We were here in September.
Another tour?
Yeah, we did Boulder, Colorado Springs, and Greeley.
Wow. How often, how much out of the year are you guys touring?
Most of the year, really. Like, I mean, we're like, it's not like steady, but you know, once spring gets here, we're pretty much on until fall, between just like club dates and then like festivals and stuff in the summer and other club dates in the fall. And you know, we'll have like week, 2 weeks off before tour, or like between tours, like sometimes like, you know, even a month or so. But it's pretty consistent. And then this last year we took off for the winter, which was really cool. I think that's what this year's looking like as well.
Wow. Before we get into all the touring and stuff, I wanna go back. Where's home for you?
Annapolis, Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How old are you?
37. I'll be 37 in like 2 weeks.
Or, what was growing up in Maryland like for you?
I mean, humid. We have like, you know, Maryland is, it's thought of by a lot of people as a southern state. I never really thought of it as a southern state. You know, it's more just kind of like home to me, but it's like just southern enough that we have people, you know, we say y'all, but it's not southern enough that we have sweet tea. It's a very like waterman based area, you know, like a lot of fishing, a lot of crabs, like seafood's really, really big in our area. Like out of high school, like I started working at a seafood restaurant. You know, I did that for a long time. There's a lot of really good seafood there. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine, you know, I've been traveling a lot over the last 10 years, and what I've really realized is like, pretty much everywhere is the same. You have different, or it's like, I feel like everyone kind of has like similar stories about growing up. It's just really the geography that changes, you know, and like the neighborhoods and whatnot.
What kind of kid were you growing up?
I was kind of all over the place. I played a lot of video games. I didn't start playing music until I was 17.
Oh, wow.
But I was real into. I always loved music. Like from the first time I got my first CD, I liked reading a lot, and I liked, you know, I aspired to be a writer. I wrote like short stories and like did like live journaling. That was like really big when I was in high school. And I just always really liked writing. So then when I found guitar and like doing that, like the writing thing immediately kind of like scratched an itch, and it was just satisfying creatively. I was always like really I was really bad at like making myself do anything I didn't want to do, so I didn't really do well in school. But you know,
Did you graduate?
I did, yeah, like by the skin of my teeth, but I did. I got my high school diploma.
Hell yeah.
I actually don't have the physical diploma because I graduated owing a credit to the, you know, like owing money to the school, and they wouldn't give me the diploma unless I paid it, and I just never paid it. 'Cause, I mean, I've never needed it for anything, so it's like.
Well, you think one day you'll get it? Can you still get it like years later?
I don't know or care. Like.
That's hilarious.
It's a fucking piece of paper. It's like I can't, if I ever needed it, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's not like it's your birth certificate. You know?
Yeah.
It'd be funny if I had like a gig and they wouldn't let me get on stage until I showed them my high school diploma.
Man, it's hilarious. So you said you found music at 17. What kind of music like inspired you at that age?
I was real into emo at that point in my life. Like Dashboard Confessional was like huge, and I was like real into that. I was really into John Mayer too. Like he had just come out, and I just was into. I've always been into like songwriters, like really like lyrically kind of forward things. And you know, at that point in your life, you're like 16, 17, like everything's very emotional and like, you know, and extreme and hyperbolic. So like I was, you know, drawn to that kind of stuff. But yeah, throughout, like from an early age when I would listen to music, it was like the lyrics that would move me, and then the music is kind of something that accompanies it, but the lyrics were always something I was like really drawn to.
What age did you write your first song?
I wrote my first song like probably 3 months after I started playing guitar, and it was really, really bad, and I played it at a talent show at high school. It was like professing love to a girl kind of thing. It was really, really cringy, and I'm really glad it's before YouTube and that nothing exists of it. Really? I don't even remember it. I don't remember the lyrics or anything.
Damn. We'll have to find it. Internet, do your job. There's video out there somewhere. So no college or anything?
I ended up going back to college. Like, I did a little bit of community college like right out of high school, and it just was not like I barely graduated high school, but I was like in the generation that, you know, our parents instilled in us. How old are you?
25.
So I don't know if it's still like this for you, but like when I was growing up, it was just like you went to college. Like, that was like, if you wanted to have any kind of a future, that's what they told you to do. And then, you know, here we are later where it's like the college bubble kind of burst, and you have a lot of people who are just like swimming in debt and they can't get jobs with their careers. But for me, it was like shoved down my throat. So it's like, you know, I went to a little bit of community college right out of high school. It just did not click. So I just worked in a restaurant for a while, which is around the time I started the band. And then I started going back to school, you know, after I realized I didn't want to wait tables for my entire life. I didn't know that this was going to click. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I did a business degree because it was practical. Mm-hmm. And I got pretty close to that. I was about like a semester away from getting a degree in that. But I just, you know, it was, I mean, by that time, you know, I'd been doing it for probably 5-6 years. And that was around the time, you know, the band was really starting to click. And I just realized that I would need a lot of things to go wrong for me to ever do anything with that degree. You know, and I was paying out of pocket. You know, I didn't take any loans out, but I was like paying out of pocket as I went through it. And I was like, this is just a waste of my time and a waste of my money, and bailed on it.
What year was that the band kind of started to click and you said screw school?
It was around 2011, 2012. Actually, maybe more like 2013. Sometime around there. That whole period of my life is a fucking blur because I was just drinking a lot.
Really?
So it's like, I don't know, sometime in that, I'd say sometime between 2011 and 2014.
When you say drinking a lot, what was your daily consumption?
I mean, I've never considered myself an alcoholic, but like, I probably drank like an alcoholic, but I was like a situational alcoholic in the sense that like playing music, I never fucking paid for beer or whiskey. It was just everywhere, you know. So like, I'd be like at gigs, I would just always drink at gigs. And like when I started doing this, like once again, like I wanted to be a songwriter, like, and like kind of my vision of how everything would go with this was like based off like MTV Unplugged and like shit I'd seen of like bands on this huge caliber and not like what it's like starting off. So I always imagine I would write these poignant songs and then I would play them in a room and explain them to people and they would be captivated and listening to my every word. And really it's just not like that at all. Like no one gives a shit until you make them give a shit. And it took a long, long time for that. So in the beginning for me, like getting on stage and like doing all this shit and just like playing to people who were indifferent and didn't give a fuck, it was like very anxiety inducing. Like I had crippling stage fright. So I would get blasted just to even be able to do that. And, yeah, I mean, it's never like I like woke up in the morning and grabbed a bottle, but you know, I was definitely drinking pretty heavy. Like I would drink probably 6 days a week, you know.
Wow. Like, did you ever get into anything else?
I just smoking weed and mushrooms. You know, I've done Adderall recreationally a few times, like enough to like. The first time I did it, I was like, I really, really like this, and I cannot allow myself this could become problematic if I allowed it to, and.
Totally.
But my whole, I've never put anything in my nose, so it's like I always would just take like a pill, you know, but never like opiates and shit. Like I kind of saw at like an early age what that did to people and was just very, very turned off by it. Never wanted to experiment with it.
Yeah. What was like the drug in Maryland that everyone was kind of getting burnt out?
Oh, oxys and shit. Oxys and then heroin was like very much. I mean, that's like. I feel like that's in my entire generation. You know, it's still a problem. I have seen one of the things that's like different in the country is like everywhere has like rampant drug problems, but depending on the area, it's either opiates or meth.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Like they never really coincide. I mean, it's like there's always both, but one of them is like the drug of choice. So it's like I guess the drug of choice where I was from was opiates for sure.
I think here it's meth.
Yeah.
Or like.
It's kind of a Western thing because like I've noticed that's a big thing in California, like in like Central California and like it's like a desert thing. I don't fucking know. I don't understand it.
Yeah, nor do I. All right, so the band starts clicking around 2013 or whatever. Who's the first addition to the band?
Wolfie was like really when it all clicked, you know, like, and we've been playing together since 2010 at this point. That's when we started touring. TJ's my fourth drummer. I went through a lot of drummers before, you know, I found TJ around like, I think probably 2015 at this point. Ethan's my second keyboard player. He's been playing in the band for a little over 2 years now. And Will was, you know, he's the first time we've had a fifth member, but we brought him on a little over a year ago at this point.
What is the reason your drummers left? For kind of a lot.
I mean, my first one, it was just not like the right fit, and then the other two it's pretty much always just like a difference in like personalities. You know what I mean? Like it's hard finding like the right fit with this kind of shit, because it's like you just spend so much time on the road, you know, and it's like ability is important and it's one thing, but the rest of it is like, do you get along as people? And it's like we're all just very, very different. And in those days too, it's like the money was like super fucking tight, so it was like you really had to get along with each other to like really, you know, want to be out here. So.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how you guys have a tour bus. You guys live on the tour bus, or?
I mean, we rent that, dude. That's not ours. Like, and we and that's like, dude, that's like luxurious. Like that is a new thing. That is like something we just started being able to do in the last year, and we do that for these Western runs because the drives are so long. You know, like anything that's like really more than 3 weeks. And it just, yeah, it's like there's pros and cons just like anything else, but the pros like significantly outweigh the cons, because I mean it makes this whole thing way more comfortable and bearable because we have a driver too. And then it's also, you know, back in the day when we were driving our van out here going over the mountains and shit, dude, like we've broken down so many times, and when you break down like 3,000 miles from home, it's just fucking awful, you know. So like being in a rental is great because, you know, it's not really your problem financially, you know, it's your problem because you got to get to the show and, you know, you want to get it repaired, and then but then B, you're not putting wear and tear on shit that you own, you know.
What's some of the cons of touring together on the tour bus for the upcoming musicians that think they want it?
Oh, I mean, it's just space is super, super, super tight. But it's like there's 9 of us living in an RV right now, essentially.
9? Holy shit.
Yeah. And then also it's like the trade-off of getting in the bus, because it's expensive. Like the bus is like $600 a day. The driver's like $1,400 a week. You know, it's a pretty big nut that you got to cover. So like when we started doing that, that's when we started selling VIPs, and that goes towards paying for that. But the other way that we pay for that is we have a hotel budget when we're in our vans, so we don't get hotels when we're in the bus. So we shower at like Planet Fitnesses, because, you know, everyone gets like a $25 month-long Planet Fitness thing. They're all over the country, and there's a lot of bands that do this. It's like almost like a rite of passage for like this stage in your career. So it's like, you know, you don't get to like just get out of your hotel bed and hop in the shower. You know, you got to fucking wake up, like put on, you know, take a gym shower. It's just once again, it's not glamorous.
Yeah. Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
What's the diet like?
So that's for me. I used to be a savage, and I would just like eat on the road. I would just like live off Pop-Tarts and peanut butter and jelly and like whatever, you know, like Uber Eats if I was feeling bougie. I found out I had a gluten allergy about 4 months ago.
Oh shit.
So now I'm like living, unless I can find places that like have gluten shit, like I'm living on like Snickers, beef jerky, and peanuts, because they're everywhere. You can, like, every gas station has that, you know. Yeah. But it's, you know, it depends on the shit bag, you know. Like every shit bag has a different shitty diet on the road. A lot of guys like eat a lot of taquitos and fucking corn dogs. I loved corn dogs too. I was a huge supporter of corn dogs. And then, you know, some guys like my buddy Howie, I know you did a ballyhoo thing. The last tour he did, he brought an air fryer with him, and he's like really making a conscious effort to like maintain his diet. But that's the kind of guy he is too. He's like very good at like establishing systems and like learning new things like that. Like I don't have the discipline or want to put the effort in to eat like that. You know what I mean? Like he was really, really going the extra mile to make sure he ate well on tour. Like, I'm fucking lazy. Like, just let me walk into a gas station and buy some fucking Snickers and call it a day. You know?
How many Snickers are you eating in like a
Oh,
sitting?
bro, I'm like, depending on the day, like anywhere between 2 and 5. Like,
Holy fuck, 5
yeah.
Snickers a day?
Yeah, Snickers, give me money, yo. Endorse me.
That's crazy. Wow. Have you calmed down on drinking?
Oh, I quit drinking about 3 years ago.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. What was the last straw?
I got a DUI. It was a bullshit DUI. Like, I just didn't get. I got it because I wouldn't blow, and then they arrested me and they got a subpoena for my blood. And like that's the reason I did it. It took like 2 hours for them to get it. You know, and by that time I'd only had a few drinks. You know, I didn't know. You know, so I just decided not to blow. And but by the time they got the paperwork, there was no blood or no alcohol in my blood. So they threw it out. But the whole ordeal cost me $3,000 because I had to hire a lawyer and they got my car got towed and all that shit. So I just, you know, like I said, that period of my life, I drank a lot. So I was like, you know, I've been drinking a lot for over 15 years. Like, I'm going to just take a break. I'm going to take a year off and see how I feel. And I did. And, you know, I lost a lot of weight. Like, I felt better. My voice got way better. Like, I got more consistent with, like, my performance and, like, singing. Because I'd always kind of prided myself on, like, being able to just be like shitty drunk and still put on a good show because it's just like very rock and roll in my mind. But like, it was, you know, I always kept it together, but it was definitely like noticeable. And it's like, I'm super competitive and this industry is really, really hard. And we're in a position that not a lot of bands get to go to. So it's like, I want to see how far I can take it, you know? So like, if not drinking helps that, it was just a decision I made, you know, like, I might come back. You know, I also became a father. Like, I had my first kid 4 years ago, so it's like I wanted him to, like, grow up with a good example. You know, because, like, binge drinking is just, or even just recreational drinking is, like, super normalized in this country, you know, and it really is, you know, it's fun, but it's fucking poison at the end of the day. So it's like, just having him grow up with a good example for that, I thought was cool. Both of my kids, you know. But like that said, when they're grown, you know, and like maybe in the twilight of my shit with this, maybe I've accomplished all I want to accomplish. Maybe I'll start drinking again. But for now, I'm just, you know, I'm on the wagon.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you have 2 children now, you said? Mm-hmm. So you kind of quit drinking around the pandemic, when the pandemic started?
Dude, I quit drinking 2 months before the pandemic started. It was like, I kept joking. I was like, this is the wrong fucking year to quit drinking.
Yeah. Honestly, stuck at home.
Yeah.
How'd that change the band dynamic?
I changed my songwriting a lot. Because I used to write a lot about drinking. Mm-hmm. That's what I did. It forced me to like have some like unpleasant conversations with myself and like kind of like realize what I wanted out of life, what I wanted out of this band, like what I wanted to do. Like, instead of just like having unpleasant thoughts and like drowning them, I would have unpleasant thoughts and I would deal with it, you know. So there were some growing pains, but it was ultimately like a super, super healthy thing for myself and for the band. And it's like, I think it helped a lot with spelling out like intentions and like what we all want and like what is expected, you know, and then like accomplishing that kind of shit too. So like, it helped overall with, you know, once you like do those kind of things, it helps with communication in general, which is like, I would argue communication is the most important thing in any relationship, whether it's, you know, band members, family members, you know, like boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Mm-hmm. You married?
I am.
How long have you been married?
For a while. 2015 probably. It's like 8 years, something like that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of is all going in. It's all kind of tying into around the same time frame, like 2012 to 2015. All these major changes in your life happened. Would you say you're happy now, or were you happy?
Oh, dude, I'm super happy. Like, yeah, I every year of my life has been better than the previous year. You know, like I'd say net. Yeah, like looking at it from a net perspective, you know, because there's like different losses and different gains every year. You know, you different chapters of your life, you experience different things like that you never thought you would have to deal with. But it's like, overall, like, I'm in a way better place this year than I was last year, and it's like the same thing for last year and the prior year. It's you know, it's all just growing and changing, and for me, I'm happy the direction it's gone.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Doing the same shit, making more money, playing bigger venues. I love playing music and I love touring. I wanna I want to do it until my body gives out, really, like until I can't do it. Like I would like to get to I would love to get to a point to be in like an amphitheater headlining band. It's not necessarily the most realistic goal, you know. That's kind of like a pipe dream for me. Like that's would be awesome. So like realistically, like where I'm at now, it's something that's like attainable is, you know, just being like playing bigger clubs, selling out bigger clubs, like continuing to put out good music that resonates with people and put on like other good upcoming bands. And I really just want to keep doing the same shit but at like a higher scale, you know.
Yeah, I don't think that playing an amphitheater, a major amphitheater, is out of the reach at all for you guys.
I don't think it is either, but it's not something you can plan on. Like I think you need some cards to fall the right way, you know what I mean, to get to that level. Whereas like even where I'm at now is like seems like a pipe dream to a lot of people, but I am here. So taking a few more steps forward is totally reasonable. Whereas like headlining a summer amphitheater tour, that would probably be like 20 steps forward. So it's a little more luck is involved there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think it's getting the right people to kind of hear you guys, or how does that, what makes those cards fall into place?
I think it's just repetition. I mean, like there's different routes that you can take. Having the right people hear us is like, for me, that's not like what kind of band this is, you know what I mean? Like it's very much just like we're just doing our own thing, you know what I mean? We're not like I did that whole thing for a while where I was trying to like hope like the right people would hear us and put us on and and it's just like not it didn't make me happy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like compromises you have to kind of make to go that way, like and it's just something I decided I didn't want to do. So it's like, and that's like kind of what we were just talking about, like this year, are you happier than last year? You know what I mean? Like that's something I recently decided, and it's, for me, it was very freeing, and it makes this whole thing better because you just do it the way you want to do it, you know what I mean? As opposed to like chasing some fucking carrot, you know?
Yeah.
It's really, for me, it's just about making a living, you know? So to answer your question, like, it's not about people hearing you, it's about everyone hearing you. So it's like the thing that works for us is just consistently putting out music, marketing that music, consistently touring, marketing those tours, and then making sure that like the live show fucking crushes. So then the people you market to, they come out and they catch the show and they're like, damn, that band's dope. And like you make a few lifers there, and it's like you put out a record, then you market the fuck out of it, and then people, you know, they take a chance and they hear it and they're like, damn, this is dope. And then they listen, and then, you know, it just slowly builds and builds and builds and just gets better over time. It's like, once again, it's like pipe dreams versus what's attainable. Like to me, like that's like a very step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 thing that is achievable, as opposed to like some intangible thing. Like I need someone to fucking hear me. Like how do you know, you can't plan on that. You can't control that. That's just like,
That's a great point.
Chasing a carrot.
Yeah, it's a great point. You seem really methodical and really like well-spoken. Who's some of your inspirations that right now in kind of your adulthood that you look to kind of to mirror them?
I don't really think about that kind of shit anymore. Like, really? I mean, like from a songwriting perspective, you know, I love like, you know, Johnny Cash and John Prine are kind of dudes that I admire, and just, you know, I just like honest songwriting. I like a lot of hip hop, and just I would have to think about that for a minute to like think of like who I admire on like in a professional standpoint. But
what about some of your favorite tours that you've been on? Any memorable ones?
Yeah, man. this last fall when we went out with Kyle Smith, it was fucking rad. Like, this one is shaping up to be good. I mean, we're only one night into it, but it just gets better and better. Some of my favorite tours were like the really, really early ones when I was just like hopping in a van with the boys, you know, and just doing bar gigs and kind of just figuring all this shit out as we go along, you know what I mean? Because it's very like, it was all very still like mysterious and new and like romantic there, as opposed to eventually like you pull the curtain back and you see what shit's like and you're like, oh, do I want to do this or do I not want to do this, you know? And then when you figure out you want to do it, once again, I am methodical, so then I start thinking about it like in a clinical sense and like trying to figure out how to do stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. But before that, it's like, it's all like new and fresh, you know?
Mm-hmm. What about worst?
Worst tour, shit. Definitely the tour that we did. We were supposed to do with the Expendables, and we drove 20 hours to Texas. We did on the first show, we found out COVID was canceling the rest of the tour.
Oh, damn.
So we played 3 shows and then drove 20 hours home and had 7 weeks worth of work canceled. You know, it was just fucking so depressing and weird.
Hurts your pockets, I bet. Hurts you.
Oh my God, yeah, because we had just bought like $70,000 or $80,000 worth of merch, you know what I mean, on credit.
Holy shit!
that we had no ability to sell, you know. So we were very, very lucky that we have like such a cool fan base, and we were able to like do shit over the pandemic to like push that stuff, and you know,
it's kind of resolved itself.
Oh, it was fine. Yeah, we came out definitely, you know, we came out stronger on the other side of the pandemic because we stayed active, you know. And we definitely like no stranger to like pivoting when shit gets weird. So, you know, we did, and we made the best out of it. But it was a stressful few months there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could imagine, man. That could be like soul crushing to have that huge debt over your head.
Dude, that's touring though, bro. Like, I mean, we've had transmissions go up, you know. I had my first drummer broke his leg on tour once, like fucking.
How?
You know, you see people go to jail and shit. Like I'm not gonna call them out, but there's a tour we did where they were bouncing around with their dad, and the dad had a mental breakdown on the road and ended up. He like we were on the road touring together, and the dude had a mental breakdown like when we were loading into the show and just disappeared, and the police picked him up butt naked on the highway trying to fight people and shit, and then he was in jail for like a week while they were doing the rest of this run with us. And
what?
Yeah, I mean, shit, dude, it's like touring is like fucking insane at all levels, you know. And I feel like as you have more money, the insanity just gets more channeled and designer themed, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but essentially all just a bunch of pirates going around doing crazy shit, and crazy shit happens, and that's what's like takes a certain type of person to make a life out of it.
Yeah. What about the person your wife is? How does she feel when you're on the road all the time?
She's super supportive, but she's like the polar opposite of me.
Oh, really?
She's a very domestic, put together, functioning member of society.
Mm. What about the rest of the band? Are they in relationships or married or anything?
Yeah. 3 of them are in relationships, 1's single.
Only one is single?
Mm-hmm.
Man. Does that kind of cause like any issues, women coming up to you guys and
no, I mean we're all just it's work, you know. We're pretty like low profile band, you know what I mean? We're just fucking doing our thing.
It's humble. I mean,
that's what I was trying to say earlier. It's like, dude, we're just like 5 years from now, I want to be doing the same. It's work, you know what I mean? Like I like this is what I do for a living, and I like doing it, and I want to do it at a bigger scale and make more money, you know, and then just fucking repeat until I'm dead. Mm-hmm. That said, I think we're about ready for sound check, so
that's fair.
I got to wrap this up.
That's fair. You want to tell people where to follow you?
Pornhub.
That's sick. All right, y'all. Street Champs. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace. What's up, guys? We just hit 1,500 subs. We're trying to make it 2,000. Help us out and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.